Dear me, ladies and gentlemen, but there is so much going on. For some time now, a number of very well qualified, highly respected medical scientists and doctors have been claiming that I lack the lexicon, the vocabulary, the whatever you call it, to express this well. I don't know much about medicine, but they have been claiming that mRNA research goes back to before AIDS, but including AIDS. Since 2020, I've watched numerous videos that I cannot fully understand, but which I can understand well enough to regurgitate in these layman's terms. Apparently, or allegedly, I should say, and this, when I say allegedly, these allegations are being made by, inter alia, people who were participants in that work. For instance, there was work done in Africa in the 1950s and 60s, in deepest, darkest, very rural, that had to do with culturing illnesses in monkeys. And subsequently, that work, this can all be verified on the internet, but it'll take you a long time. If you want to look for search terms, I'd begin with Dr. Judy Mikovits, and then you'll go down the rabbit hole. I can't remember the video to which I'm alluding, the name of it. I watched it 3 years ago, but they explained very, very persuasively with piles and piles and piles of evidence, including original assertions by people involved in the research. Their original work, explaining what they were doing, why they were doing, how they were doing, when they were doing. And that work, it is being claimed, subsequently led to the HIV virus. I posted a video about this that alludes to this in passing on my groups this morning. This person claims that this is a very highly regarded virologist person in that field who worked on developing the SARS and the MERS epidemics. And she reckons that AIDS, HIV/AIDS, comes out of that work, and that it was man-made, and it used the same or similar shedding technology that people are talking about now. Lots of people, many people, Russell Brand. Okay, we Saitlanders were 3 years ahead of him. We were 2 years ahead of Dr. Chris Martinson. We were comfortably 2 years ahead of Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. Not that that makes us experts, but we were assiduous in our research. In 2020, 21, 22, into COVID-19 and the vaccines. My point being that HIV/AIDS was man-made, and it was made to be shed through sexual intercourse. Broken tooth. And I suppose there's just one central question in this video. What are the gays and the blacks going to do, if anything, when they discover that they were intentionally infected, knowing that, with the knowledge of the scientists, that as the world's most promiscuous people, whether you like that allegation or not, that's the premise upon which it was done. The scientists did it on the basis that they would be able to see the results of their work best among promiscuous, licentious gays and blacks. If we infect these people, they will for sure spread it through multiple partners, left, right, and center. What are those gays in San Francisco going to say when they finally figure out that it was a massive experiment on them? That these very evil people said, hey, there's a lot of, excuse my language, I'm going to be blunt, you may take it for crass. I don't mean to be crass, I mean to be plain spoken. There are a lot of men who use the anus as a sex organ in San Francisco. So let's infect a half a dozen or a dozen or whatever it was of them. Somehow. Who knows how it began? In coffee, I don't know, maybe you can't do it in coffee. In a bagel sandwich, I don't know, maybe you can't use a bagel sandwich. Whatever, by whatever means. And we'll know within months or years how many of them have destroyed one another because they are sodomites, catamites, and pederasts. How many, black people. Huh? It was revealed by Professor Mark Tomlinson in the 2017 Global AIDS Conference. Where was it held? I want to say in Stellenbosch. In, I believe, October of 2017. But 19% of the world's HIV positive population resides in South Africa. I don't know what is the number. Well, let's look it up. Number of HIV positive in South Africa. Woo! Ouch. 5.7 million citizens. So, if you trust the government census statistics, which I flatly reject, they're nonsense. But if you believe that there's 61 million people living in South Africa, almost 1 in 10 is HIV positive. What are those roughly 6 million people going to do when they discover that some evil genius said, hey, blacks are promiscuous. Blacks will, I'm not being nasty. What do you think they said? What do you think they said? That has to be what they said. We have devised this thing, and now we need to try it out. Hey, I know the black guys, or the black people, they'll shag anything, anytime. If this works, hey, we'll know about it in minutes. It's a huge question. I suppose that's the gist of this video, guys. It absolutely fascinates me. The level of premeditation, the level of sinister, the level of, if you speak American English, sinisternicity, naciousness, the level of cunning, the level of not even premeditation, but patience, knowing that you're involved in something that's only going to be fully realized, if you're working in the 50s and the 60s, and this thing is going to be in the 80s, in 30 years' time. You're a big, clever professor, evil as the day is long. You're in your 40s, you're now at that point that you can be the big cockadour of such work. You know that at best it's going to have value. It's going to be manifest evil in your 70s. And it's only really going to count when you're in your 90s or in the grave. Wow. Phenomenal. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're one of those people who has money and sees value in our work, please consider donating. Please visit Saitlanders.org, press the enter button. There's like a little button there, enter, and scroll to the bottom of the page. So it's effectively the home page or the landing page, I think that's the word. And you'll see a number of vectors, of payment channels through which you can donate. Thank you. Cheerio, everybody. Bye-bye.